So there's two things that I know that are true. One, that your subs are not responsible for your schedule. And two, the subcontractors that you work with are likely going to give you a bullshit schedule. So those are my two truths for today. And I kind of want to elaborate on that. Oftentimes we're putting together a schedule and it involves communication with the subs as to how much time they're going to need. And what often happens, if you haven't been around the trades long enough, you might have a PM you're working with or someone running the job who, I myself have been doing this for now since 2007, so 17 years. And I would like to think that I've seen a lot and I know how project flow goes. So when I go to a job site and I meet an electrician and I see the amount of work that's left over, and I'm trying to plan how long they need to complete their scope of work, and I'm told by them that they need 5 to 6 weeks when I know it should take 3. I need to have the confidence and I need to have the wherewithal to call them out on that, because over the course of the project, backing up, a lot of builders, what they'll do is just simply take the sub's word as to what their schedule is going to look like. And I think a problem we run into, there's a delicate balance of, we don't want to grind our subs too much and we don't want to push our subs to the point where they're at the brink, they're unhappy working for us, and they really just don't like the environment. However, when given the opportunity to tell somebody your schedule and make your own schedule, you're always going to add way too much fluff. And I think that often happens, and schedules are built with that fluff factor involved. And maybe on a per trade basis, it's not a huge issue, but it compounds on itself. And it could mean 4 months over the course of a, year and a half or, 14-month project. And that can make a huge difference, not only in profitability, but in client perception as to how things are going. So I like to always be acutely aware of managing the expectations of the sub as to how fast I believe they should perform it, and in comparison to what they tell me the speed is going to be, because I think there's always a happy middle ground. Obviously, if I'm told 5 to 6 weeks, I want to cut that in half and say it's 2.5, 3. But oftentimes it could be 3.5, 4. And if it's not called out and it's not discussed, it's definitely going to be 6 to 7 weeks, because your subs will go at the pace that you allow them to go. Remember, they don't just have your job that they're working on, they have other jobs, and they only have a limited amount of manpower to get those jobs done. So, squeaky wheel scenario, what's going to happen is, if you're not pushing or if you don't set expectations, they're going to be going to the other job and working for the other builder or working for the homeowner to get that job done, because someone's pressing them. Out of everyone in the whole line, someone's pressing them the hardest. Who is it? Again, you don't want to be the grinder that everyone thinks is an asshole, but you definitely want to press and make everyone know that they're accountable to a schedule. Second, sometimes we run into just general disorganization, discontent from subs, things not getting done in a timely manner because things are out of sequence. And one thing we often do is blame the sub in that scenario. I think that's completely wrong, and I hate the thought of blaming subcontractors for your lack of organization. It happens to all of us. We get busy, we get multiple jobs, we have a lot going on, and a lot of times we throw the responsibility to the sub trades, and then inevitably when things go awry or things fail because we weren't proactive about it or didn't have adequate planning, then we jump the sub's ass because hey, why didn't you take care of this? Hey, why isn't this getting done? Hey, why is my client a little pissed off that you're behind schedule? Hey, why is my client a little pissed off that things aren't going sequentially, or this thing got missed or that thing got missed? And it all comes back to, that's our onus as the builder, to make sure that things are organized so our subs can succeed. And same for our PMs and our employees. If in the past, this is probably 15 years ago, but I had a PM who was he's a rock star, super good dude, worked hard. But we ended up ending in a falling out. And in hindsight, that falling out was probably acutely caused by me overwhelming him with too many tasks that, he just couldn't perform. You're not gonna, go find someone on the street that's 120 pounds and ask them to bench 100 or bench press 315, and when they fail, tell them they're a failure. So, if you're giving your PM 7 jobs that require 2 to 3 hours per day, if you were to properly run it, and they're chasing their tail and dropping the ball here, there, and everywhere, and then you're asking them, hey, why is this client mad? Why isn't this getting done? Why didn't this get done? Why did that get missed? Well, it doesn't take a genius. In my mind, the problem could be easily diagnosed, and I think, it's hard, but it is hard because the nature of the business is we have employees, we have PMs, we have ourselves. Everyone wants to get fed and everyone wants to stay busy. And how do you do that in an industry that's hit and miss when it comes to schedule and timing? Is you have to stack projects. So I think it's finding the delicate balance of stacking the projects in a way where you still have the bandwidth to step back, organize, and move forward efficiently. When you stack the Jenga tower too much and it gets unstable, it crumbles. So that's just something to be acutely aware of. And oftentimes, kind of bringing this back home, when we have those failures, it's really easy to blame it on the sub and not look internally and say, what could I have done better, or what did I do? But I think best practice is we have to do that more often. And, maybe it's also sitting with our subs, meeting with them, asking them, what is it we can do better, or where have we dropped the ball? And I find when we do that, people are very honest with us. People love the opportunity to provide feedback, not in a negative way, but in a way that will really help them. Because at the end of the day, like, the success of the sub is our success, is everyone's success, and is the success of the project and makes the client happy. So it's a collaborative process that we all need to be involved in. And yeah, I just think it's something we should definitely be aware of.